We're about to introduce you to 13 forgotten vegetables that'll make your taste buds do a happy dance. Number 1. Yard-long beans. Ever heard of a bean that's longer than your arm? No, we're not pulling your leg. Meet the yard-long bean, a veggie that'll make you do a double take in the garden. These incredible legumes, also known as asparagus beans, were a favorite in many of our grandparents' backyards. And let me tell you, they're not your average green bean. Picture this: beans stretching up to 3 feet long with a unique nutty flavor that'll have you wondering why you've been settling for boring old string beans all this time. But here's the real kicker. These bad boys aren't just about looks and taste. They're packed with all sorts of good stuff like protein, fiber, and vitamins A and C. Talk about a nutritional powerhouse. Number 2. Cherokee Purple. Ever tasted a tomato that's almost black? Get ready to meet the Cherokee Purple, a tomato so flavorful it might just ruin grocery store tomatoes for you forever. This heirloom variety isn't your average red round fruit. It's got a deep purple color that'll make you do a double take in the garden. But let's talk flavor. Bite into a Cherokee Purple and you're in for a taste explosion. It's like someone bottled up the essence of summer and packed it into a tomato. Folks describe it as rich and sweet with a hint of smokiness. It's the kind of tomato that'll make you wonder why you ever settled for those pale, watery imposters at the supermarket. Here's the kicker. These purple beauties aren't just pretty faces. They're packed with antioxidants thanks to their dark color. And if you've got a sensitive stomach, you're in luck. Cherokee Purples are lower in acid than most tomatoes, so you can enjoy that tomato sandwich without reaching for the antacids. Number 3. Ground cherries. Speaking of close calls with forgotten produce, have you ever heard of a fruit that's part tomato, part pineapple? Sounds like a mad scientist's experiment, right? Well, hold on to your taste buds, because we're about to introduce you to ground cherries, nature's own flavor-bending creation. These little golden jewels were once a common sight in our grandparents' gardens, and for good reason. Imagine unwrapping a tiny paper-like husk to reveal a fruit about the size of a cherry tomato. But take a bite, and you're in for a surprise. Ground cherries burst with a unique sweetness that's hard to describe. It's like a tomato and a pineapple had a delicious baby. But these aren't just tasty treats. Ground cherries are packed with goodness too. They're loaded with vitamins A and C, giving your immune system a nice boost. Plus, they're rich in pectin, a type of fiber that's great for keeping your gut happy and healthy. Number 4. Walking stick kale. Ever wondered what it'd be like to eat your walking stick? Well, our grandparents kinda did. Meet walking stick kale, the veggie that's part superfood, part garden tool. This isn't your average leafy green. We're talking about a kale variety that can grow up to 6 feet tall with stems so sturdy you could use them as a hiking buddy. But don't let its impressive height fool you. Walking stick kale isn't just for show. Its leaves are tender and delicious with a mild, slightly earthy taste that's less bitter than other kales. It's like nature decided to make kale more appealing to the picky eaters among us. Number 5. Cucamelons. Ever heard of a fruit that looks like a miniature watermelon but tastes like a cucumber with a zesty lime kick? Meet the cucamelon, folks. This tiny titan has been charming gardeners and taste buds for centuries, and it's about time we gave it the spotlight it deserves. Picture this. You're strolling through your grandparents' garden and you spot what looks like grape-sized watermelons hanging from delicate vines. But take a bite, and you're in for a surprise. These little guys pack a refreshing punch that's part cucumber, part citrus, and all delicious. But cucamelons aren't just a novelty act. These pint-sized powerhouses are loaded with good stuff like antioxidants, vitamins C and E, and beta-carotene. And get this, they're naturally tough cookies when it comes to pests and drought. That means even if you've got a black thumb, you might just have a shot at growing these beauties. Number 6. Black radishes. Ever wondered what would happen if a radish decided to go goth? Meet the black radish, a spicy root with a dark secret that might just revolutionize your salad game. These inky-skinned veggies aren't some newfangled food trend. They've been around for centuries, quietly lurking in gardens and kitchens across Europe since the Middle Ages. Don't let their tough exterior fool you. Crack open a black radish and you'll find a crisp, white interior that's bursting with flavor. But here's the kicker. These bad boys aren't just about looks and taste. They're like little vitamin C bombs packed with compounds that give your liver a helping hand. And that spicy kick? It's not just there to make your eyes water. Those natural compounds have some serious germ-fighting power. Number 7. Skaret. Remember that sweet carrot you used to munch on as a kid? Well, what if we told you there's an even sweeter root vegetable that's been hiding in plain sight for centuries? Meet Skaret, the forgotten veggie that might just become your garden's new superstar. Skaret isn't some fancy new hybrid. It's been around since ancient times, gracing medieval feast tables with its unique flavor. Imagine biting into a cluster of slender white roots that taste like a perfect blend of carrot and parsnip, with a delightful hint of sweetness. It's like nature's very own candy, but with a whole lot more nutrition packed in. Speaking of nutrition, Skaret is a powerhouse of goodness. It's chock full of fiber, potassium, and vitamin C. But here's the real kicker. It contains inulin, a type of fiber that's like a spa day for your gut. Your digestive system will be doing a happy dance. Number 8. Celeriac. Ever judged a book by its cover? Well, get ready to have your assumptions turned upside down. We're about to introduce you to a veggie that looks like it crash-landed from outer space but tastes like heaven on earth. Meet celeriac, the ugly duckling of the vegetable world that's about to steal the culinary spotlight. Now, we know what you're thinking. Celeriac? Isn't that just celery's weird cousin? Well, you're not far off, but there's so much more to this knobby little wonder. Picture a gnarly, bumpy ball that looks like it's been rolling around in the garden for a century. But don't let its rough exterior fool you. Slice it open, and you'll find a creamy white flesh that's bursting with flavor. Here's where it gets really interesting. This alien-looking veggie is actually a nutritional powerhouse. It's like nature packed all the good stuff into one ugly package just to mess with us. Celeriac is low in calories but high in fiber, making it a dieter's dream. It's also loaded with vitamin K, potassium, and vitamin C. Talk about a triple threat. Number 9. Moon and stars. Watermelon. Speaking of veggies that keep on giving, how about a fruit that's both a feast for the eyes and a nutritional powerhouse? Imagine biting into a slice of the cosmos. It's not science fiction, it's the moon and stars watermelon. This heirloom variety is like nothing you've ever seen before. Picture a dark green rind covered in bright yellow spots. One big moon surrounded by smaller stars. It's like someone took a paintbrush to a regular watermelon and decided to recreate the night sky. But this cosmic fruit isn't just about looks. Crack one open, and you'll find sweet, crisp flesh that's perfect for those sweltering summer days. Number 10. Crookneck squash. Ever wondered what happens when a squash decides to do yoga? Meet the crookneck squash, nature's own contortionist that's been bending the rules of gardening for centuries. This quirky veggie isn't the result of a gardening mishap. It's supposed to look like it took a wrong turn while growing. With its distinctive curved neck and bulbous bottom, the crookneck squash was once a summer staple in gardens across North America, especially in the southern U.S. But don't let its funky shape fool you. This little oddball is packing some serious nutritional punch. It's like the superhero of the squash world, low in calories but high in vitamins C and A. And get this, it's also a good source of manganese, which is great for keeping your bones strong and helping wounds heal faster. Talk about a twisted tale of hidden superpowers. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The crookneck squash isn't just a one-trick pony in the kitchen. This veggie is more versatile than a Swiss Army knife. You can roast it, sauté it, or toss it into soups. Its delicate skin and tender flesh make it a perfect canvas for all sorts of seasonings and herbs. It's like the chameleon of the vegetable world, ready to take on whatever flavor profile you throw at it. Number 11. Cardon. Ever heard of a vegetable that looks like it's flexing its muscles? Get ready to meet the Cardon, the forgotten giant that's about to make your taste buds do a double take. This veggie is like celery on steroids, growing up to a whopping 5 feet tall. But don't let its size fool you. It's actually the artichoke's rebellious cousin. Back in the day, Cardon was a common sight in many gardens. It's got these thick, silvery green stalks and spiny leaves that'll make you think twice about messing with it. But here's the kicker. Instead of munching on the flower bud like we do with artichokes, we chow down on the stalks. Now, let's talk flavor. Cardon's got this unique taste that's like a mashup of celery and artichoke. It's no wonder chefs are going crazy for it. They're using it in all sorts of Mediterranean dishes, from soups to stews. You can boil it, steam it, braise it, or even throw it on the grill. And get this, in Spain, they've got a dish called Cardon con salsa, while the Italians are all about their Cardon al forno. Number 12. Pink banana squash. Just when you thought vegetables couldn't get any weirder, along comes a squash that's breaking all the rules. Picture this. A veggie as long as your arm, as heavy as a toddler, and shaped like a banana? Yep, we're talking about the pink banana squash, the garden giant that'll make your pumpkins look puny. This colossal cucurbit isn't just big for show. It's a nutritional powerhouse that used to be a staple in Grandma's garden. Why? Because one of these bad boys could feed the whole family for days. Imagine slicing into that pale pink skin to reveal bright orange flesh that's sweet, rich, and just a little nutty. It's like nature's own flavor party. Number 13. Stinging nettles. Ever wondered if that pesky weed in your backyard could be your next secret ingredient? Hold on to your gardening gloves, folks, because we're about to introduce you to the rebel of the veggie world, stinging nettles. Now, before you start thinking we've lost our marbles, hear us out. These prickly plants were once a common sight on dinner plates, and for good reason. Sure, stinging nettles might seem like nature's way of saying, keep off the grass, but trust us, they're worth braving a few pokes. Once you cook them up, they lose that sting and transform into a flavor bomb that'll make spinach jealous. Imagine a taste that's rich and earthy with a hint of that green flavor we all love in our leafy veggies. But here's where it gets really exciting. These bad boys are like nature's multivitamin. They're packed to the brim with iron, calcium, and enough vitamins A and C to make an orange blush. And get this, they might even help calm down those pesky allergies and inflammation. Talk about a superhero veggie.